Donald Trump's first and only term is coming to an end, and Joe Biden is going to be our 46th President of the United States. Trump was one of our greatest presidents of the United States. He used his Marines to kill his own citizens, he did a really good job handling COVID-19, and he mocked a disabled reporter. So hilarious. All political facts aside, Donald Trump is popular on the internet. He is our first Orange Bandicoot reality TV star and billionaire president. So, I did one of the stupidest things ever. I downloaded a bunch of Trump-related games on my phone, and I played them. The first game on our list is Election Knockout, based on the 2016 election, and it's a boxing game like Punch-Out. I'll pick Hillary Clinton because she looks like she'll be in my bed tonight if I won't. Now onto the game. It's just like every crappy mobile and flash boxing game. All you do is bang your thumbs on the phone like a dumbass until you win. I will much rather play a bunch of boxing games on the Atari 2600 like Geodude versus Mr. Game & Watch Boxing. Next game is called Fake Slap. What do you do in this game? You bitch slap Trump. It's not really a game because there's no losing in this game. All you do is slap Trump and collect coins to unlock items to hit him with. You select certain items for certain races and communities and you use them to slap Trump. This game is funny, but this game will get boring after a couple of minutes. All you do is slap Trump and you hear Trump quotes.
So dishonest. Grabbed by the pussy.
Next game is Granny Trump. It should be called Grampy Trump, not Granny Trump. Granny Trump is one of those first-person jump-scare horror games. You are this helpless guy trying to escape the house. You can drive out in the garage or just get out the front door because that's a pretty satisfying way of escaping a haunted house. You gather up parts for your car or find keys to open the front door. While you are at it, you avoid Trump. You may comment that this game looks familiar because this game is a mod of the horror game Granny. The wallpaper in the house is different and it's a lot more colorful than the original Granny game, and Granny is Trump. Like, why is some of the wallpaper on the guillotine SpongeBob's face, and why is the garage wall you break is Patrick's face? This game is the Trump game in this video I played the most. If you played Granny, then you played Trump Granny without even knowing. Next game is Trump Wall. It is a mobile hopscotch game where you press the blue target and the red target to jump and build the wall. You must go fast because that woman, who I guess is supposed to be Hillary, but she looks like Professor Umbridge with blonde hair, is after you. Just like Trump Granny, I ended up playing it a lot, only it's an original game and not a mod. You don't only play as Trump, but you can play as other political and historical figures. You can play as Trump's political rivals like Bernie, the founding fathers like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, and play other presidents like Dwight Eisenhower and Kennedy. I don't play mobile games very often. I prefer playing handheld consoles with higher budget games. Trump Wall, you done good, kid. You are a good game to play on the toilet. Next game is called Trump Escort Simulator. You escort Trump in a limo to his destination. It's basically a Grand Theft Auto and Crazy Taxi hybrid game, so I guess I can call it Grand Trump Auto. Or Crazy Trumpsy. In Grand Theft Auto, you can run over people, but in Grand Trump Auto, when you run over civilians, you run them over like bricks. I am going to run you over! Well, I'm dead now. Once I jumped out of the window, I got new robot flesh. I can cross as many highways as I want to. In Crazy Taxi, you go fast and cause mayhem. But in Crazy Trumpsy, you go very slow. And there's no challenge whatsoever, and the controls are so shite. The interesting part about this game is you can switch cameras with a push of a button. You can switch to a first-person view and switch the camera to the side of the limo if that's playable. The most interesting part is you can switch to a top-down view like the 2D top-down GTA games. It's like when you're playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and then with the push of a button, boom, you're playing the original PS1 GTA. Level 3, we have a helicopter stage and the goal is like a few feet ahead. Level 4, I went the wrong direction and I can't turn around because of the shit controls, so I'm gonna crash into a building and kill myself. Final Trump mobile game is President and Terrorist Fire. You play as a Secret Service agent and you rescue the president from being assassinated. You can select your mission and the person you rescue. You can choose Trump, Elizabeth Warren, and Barack Obama. Oh my Jesus, look at his eyes. His eyes look like Michelle caught him masturbating. It's the actual game that matters, so there's still hope. And it's one of the shittiest mobile games I ever played. There's no challenge whatsoever. You just dive and you save the president. That's it. The game has a Grand Theft Auto-like camera and touching the flags kills you. In real life, a flag can kill you by having you stabbed or impaled with a flag, but in this game, touching the side of the flag kills you. By the time I got to the part where you need to rescue the president from a fire, the game just fucks out and never lets you go any further. I tried to beat the level, but I can't, and the game just won't let me go any further. Every time you go like a foot near the fire, I'm dead! Now that I got the mobile games out of the way, let's review some Trump games on consoles. And do you know there are Trump games exclusive to Japan? Yes, there's one on the Game Boy and one on the Nintendo 64. The Game Boy one is called Trump Boy and the Nintendo 64 one is called 64 Trump Collection. Alice no Waku Waku Trump World. Sadly, I can't be authentic and use the real consoles and cartridges even if the games aren't that rare, due to financial difficulties and not able to afford a capture card.
My precious! My precious! Precious! Precious!
So I am going to have to use an emulator for these games, and I also plan to review Campaign 84 on ColecoVision.
What Filmbuffgamerguy? It's a Ronald Reagan game, not a Trump game. I thought you were doing a Trump games video.
Hey, shut up YouTube commenter. This is Filmbuffgamerguy material because this game is obscure enough to talk about, and I can't review it anyway. This was an actual game that exists. A game based on the 1984 election. The reason why I can't review this game is because I can't find an emulator website that has it. This is one of the rarest ColecoVision games, and it is so rare that this game refuses to be emulated. I can only find footage on YouTube, so I can't play it. If I can only watch gameplay videos on YouTube and can't play it, I can't review it. The other game I can't review is Trump 64 because none of my computers can handle 3D games, not on my Chromebook or my school computer. So Game Boy Advance is as new as I can get. So I am going to review Trump Boy on the Game Boy. It is basically some sort of card game you play in casinos but on a 2-inch Game Boy screen. I don't know how to play card games, so I am more of a video game person, so don't expect me to be good at Uno, so I just smash buttons and see what happens. I want to ask this. Why are there so many video games based on board games and card games? Like, a ton. Nobody wants this crap, and how do they make money? And why do companies make them? Grandmas buy this shit for their grandchildren, and that's how Jenga for the Wii gets money. What is wrong with buying a deck of cards for like $3? Would a human buy the video game version, which costs more, instead of the board or the card game, the actual game? Look how cheap this is. Why spend money on a waste of plastic and electricity when you can play the actual card games for far less? Since I can't review the Japanese exclusive Nintendo 64 Trump game, I found another Trump game and a trilogy of Trump games. on DOS. This is Trump Castle. It is a 6 games in 1 game with casino games. Game number 1, you get some grid and you drag coins in with your mouse and you bet more and that increases your score. I don't know my casino game, so I don't know what that casino game is called, and I have no idea how to play this. I just smashed the keyboard like this dope. And nothing happens. Game number 2, you just bet from 1 to 5 and that's it. That's the whole screen. I have more fun messing with a calculator. There's no cards or anything, just a blank screen. Game number 3, Blackjack. I have no idea how to play this either. All I do is just click and drag coins and I bet more. I am not a card game expert, I am a video game expert, so I don't know how to play card games, and I know that this is a shit game. The only game that I can kind of call a game is the slot machine game. Do you know what this game reminds me of? Action 52, a compilation of horrible, broken, unfinished games, but there's 6 games, and it's on DOS. This game is on the same platform as Secret of Monkey Island, Alone in the Dark, and Prince of Persia. Even Mario's Game Gallery has more content and more game to this game, and that was on the same kind of platform. I totally get that this is a lower budget DOS game and quality control on DOS Amiga isn't that good as it was on Sega and Nintendo platforms, but you were able to buy the floppy disk at a store. I can't find any ROMs for Trump Castle 2 and 3 anywhere, so I can't play them, but I am willing to bet that they are the same way as this piece of garbage, and they are going to be the same game. I am too lazy to record footage for the remaining 2 games on the compilation, so we are going to move on to the Flash games. The first Flash game is called Donald Trap, and this one has a story. The game takes place in 2029 and the Trump Tower is raided by zombies. That's the story. This game is like Death Road to Canada and Die Hard on NES, and you blow up zombies and there's blood everywhere. It's pretty archaic, and this game doesn't feel like this game has anything to do with Donald Trump, but it takes place in Trump Tower, and it has a zombie Donald Trump. So, what do I think of this game? It's good. Yeah, I'm serious. The keyboard and mouse controls are really responsive, there's a variety of weapons, and there's a variety of different types of zombies. This is a game I will play when I am really bored in high school and when there aren't any teachers looking. This game gets the official Filmbuffgamerguy, this game is good, stamp, seal of approval. The site that I found this game on is called Crazy Games, and what is Crazy Games? It is a flash game website like Newgrounds. On the site, there's a whole bunch of Trump related games. I can't play all of them because not all of them are available, and one of them won't work on any of my laptops, like Trump Tower Defense. Trump Tower Defense is like a Kingdom Rush and Plants vs. Zombies game, and your goal in this game is to defend Trump Tower. This game won't work because none of the enemies show up, and when I make 2 turrets, I can't plant another one and nothing happens. This game gets a pass because this game doesn't work on my computer, but don't worry, there's plenty of more games for me to talk about. Next game is called Election Fighting. Oh wait, Election Choose Your Hero? Which one is it? I don't know. This game is like Mortal Kombat with a jib-jab type art style where blood comes out when you hit your opponent. The only 2 characters you can play as is Hillary or Trump, since this game is based on the 2016 election. At least you can select your costume, which I can't show them all because I will be banned from YouTube if I did. It's a very mediocre Newgrounds fighting game. The controls are not really good. I do everything that the controls in the menu says, but all I do is end up ducking, doing sweep kicks, and kicks. I just mash buttons until I win. If you can rip Donald Trump's spinal cord off or something cool, that will be a fun little flash game just for the fatality. It's a pretty Mortal Kombat clone, but it's a flash game, so I am not that offended or angry. The next game on my list is Trump vs. Fraud News. It is a beat 'em up like Final Fight in Streets of Rage, and you beat up CNN employees and their faces are CNN logos. Yes, when I go out to work at Pizza Hut, I will have my face be the restaurant logo. You pick up bottles of Dasani water and throw them because these plastic bottles can kill people. And you use Trump steak to heal. This game is only like 3 minutes long because there's only one level in the game. Now we have 2 boxing games left called Punch the Trump and Election Punch Off. Let's pick Punch the Trump first. It is in a first person view and there are no rounds because it is a high score based game. There are lay attacks, heavy attacks, and blocks. All you do is avoid Trump's punches and get as much blood out of Trump as possible. It will be really nice if you can remove Trump's heart out or rip his spinal cord out, but you can't do that. The other boxing game is called Election Punch Off. You get a roster of 4 characters instead of just Trump or Hillary. Now you can play as Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders. This game is actually not terrible and it's the best boxing game I played for this video. Yeah, the controls take some time getting used to, but this game actually has some challenge. I didn't smash buttons and I actually had to block and I got hit quite a bit. It's not a good game, it's just not terrible. I am probably done with this game because of Bernie's nips. Next game is Trump and the Mexican Wall. Your goal in the game is to collect votes and you avoid who I guess is supposed to be Hillary shooting lasers and dropping bombs on you, and that's about it. The game that does have something to do with the Trump wall is just called The Wall. In this game, you can play as the wall destroyers or the wall builders, and what's unique about this game is that it is an online co-op game. Too bad nobody is playing. I am the only person in the world who is playing Trump wall all alone. All I am doing is building the wall and destroying it, and my name is DIE! It would be nice if I played it with other people, but Now, with the final game is Trump RPG. There's actually a lot of content in this game that I probably can make a separate video about this game. This game has a story with anime graphics, and this game is an RPG with a Final Fantasy-like battle system. I didn't make it far in the game because I am not a big fan of turn-based RPGs. I don't hate Final Fantasy or anything, I am just not good at these games. All I do is just use the same move and stuff happens. Trump RPG even has a sequel called Trump RPG, the fart of the deal, but it's basically the same game. There were really trash games and there were games that surprised me. You still doing that to catch a Yeti review? Nah.